Good afternoon, everybody, and Happy New Year. Today's the 2nd of January. Tomorrow is my birthday, and we're well and truly now into the new year. As you can see, well, you probably don't know, that's where we have our Christmas tree, and it's disappeared. It's back in the loft. So that was taken down on New Year's Day. I mean, if I'd had my way, I probably would have taken it down even earlier. Because I always like to put it up early and take it down early, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's down now. It's in the loft. So, all gone, all done. Got my sitting room back. It feels much bigger. It's a beautiful day today. You can probably just see there, the sun's coming through, as it does at this time of the afternoon. So yes, it's a beautiful day. You can see the sun shining out there, see the reflections. We've had a lovely few days. It's really cold, beautiful and cold and frosty. Perfect midwinter weather as far as I'm concerned. It has been, as you will all know if you're in the UK, it has been a very, very wet autumn. We've had lots of rain, lots of wind. We needed the rain because we had until only about 3 weeks ago, we had a hosepipe ban here in Yorkshire. We had a really, really dry summer. We had it drier actually than they did in the south, which is unusual. So that's been the main reason I haven't put much in the way of posts on since August when I did my last one, because it's once the weather turned, that was it. It was just so wet and horrible. Managed to get the garden to bed pretty much. The only thing we've got left to harvest are a couple of buckets of potatoes. Everything else is gone. We didn't have a particularly good year this year for harvesting vegetables because it was just so dry. And once the hosepipe ban came in, it was such hard work watering with watering cans. A lot of things were just left to their own devices. And as a consequence, they didn't do very well. We didn't get any sweet corn. Broad beans weren't bad. The chard was brilliant, but that was earlier in the season anyway. Potatoes, as always, did well. So it's very, very mixed. Very, very mixed harvest. But yeah, it just had to be a case of, right, well, that's it. We'll have to abandon everything. You may remember in my last post, I talked about my back problem. It's only just starting to feel better. It was just horrendous. I went to the doctors the day after the last vlog, actually. And as nice as she was, to be quite honest, there wasn't a great deal she could do about it. They don't tend to do things with backs, do they? So she gave me some extra strong HRT tablets and patches because I had lots of other aches in various other parts of my body that she thought it would help with, and it has helped actually. I'm on the top dose, shall we say. So instead I went to a private physio, and had a few sessions with him, and that's made a huge difference. Now, he said one of my biggest problems with my back, I have plantar fasciitis in this foot. Anyone who suffers from it will know how horrible it is. And he taught me through sort of the right kind of shoes to wear when you walk a lot, as I do. The whole of my foot was sort of out of alignment. So when I was walking twisted, and that wasn't helping the issue with my back, and it was causing nerve pain. But rather than going down my leg from my back, like normal sciatica, mine was coming up from my foot, up my leg into my back. So, of course, I like to be different. So he readjusted my foot and everything and talked about good fitting shoes. Now, he would not consider Crocs to be good fitting shoes because they have no support at the back. And I agree with him, they're not. But I find for round the house and in the garden, I have an older pair, a tattier pair for the garden. I find when walking around, especially if you're barefoot, they're the best thing for plantar fasciitis because they have little knobbly bits inside the soles, and they massage your foot as you're walking. They're brilliant. But for walking outside, when I go for walks, for Christmas, Andrew bought me some Skechers, the slip-ons as well, so I don't have to bend, which are brilliant. So I've been wearing those for the last week, and that's made a huge difference. So I am back out going on walks, not as much because I have to still be careful, and I am still worse first thing on the morning. And I've learned to manage it, to be honest. And what I'm doing is, when I first wake up, say about 6:30, I'll get up, go to the bathroom, then I come back to bed, and I get into bed and I sit up in bed and read for half an hour before before I physically get up and go in the shower and get dressed and start the day. And I just find that being upright for half an hour elongates my back enough and my legs well, I don't know. I just find it helps. I just find it helps enormously. So that's what I've been doing. But no, for the last few days, even though it's been gorgeous weather, I haven't been going out because it's just that's that time of year, isn't it? Just like to sort of chill and stay at home and winter. My husband's back at work, so I'll be on my own tomorrow as well, even though it's my birthday. But you know, I just poodle about the house. So that I'm not going out into the garden today to show you anything because there isn't anything to show you, and it is bitterly, bitterly cold, and in fact it's quite slippy as well in places on the decking. So I'm not chancing it. I need all my wits about me when I'm filming out there. So no, I don't have a lot to tell you. As regards to new vegetable beds, we have had them measured. Steve's been and measured up, and he's going to get back to us with the price. I know it isn't going to be cheap because the cost of railway sleepers have gone through the roof apparently. But we're hoping that we're going to get that done. Again, as I said, I think before, the end of January, beginning of February, in good time to make a start warming the soil up and getting some early seeds in. So they're a work in progress, but it's a little bit further forward, but not much. I've had lots of health issues as well in the last few months, as well as my back, which hasn't helped with the vlogging. I had a breast cancer scare back in August, just after I made the last vlog. I had to go through quite a lot of scans and biopsies and what have you, which were pretty horrendous, but worth it in the sense that I had a good result. And I didn't have breast cancer. The mammogram showed something, but it turned out to be something called a papilloma, which, to be honest, I'd never heard of. But it was completely benign. I've had it removed and various other tests done, various tissues surrounding it removed and tested and what have you. And it's come back all saying no, it's negative, there's no cancer. But as you can appreciate, anyone who's been through it will tell you, be even a good result or a bad result, the waiting for the results is horrendous. It really, really is horrendous. You've planned your funeral, you've written your will, you've done, it's just awful. But I was lucky and I got a good result, and I just have to go back in 3 years for another mammogram. So ladies, if you are considering not having a mammogram because it's due and you don't want to have one, I would strongly recommend you go, because where mine was right at the back and would not have been found just through feeling for it at all. It would have been, if it had been cancer, by the time you would have felt it, it would have been enormous. And there's no other way you would have spotted this than a mammogram. So please, please, please do go when you have to go for these tests. I know mammograms and cervical tests, and they're not nice. They're embarrassing. They're unpleasant. They're a little bit uncomfortable, but they really, really are worth it. They really are. So, but I won't go on about that. People don't want to know personal things like that. So that's knocked me back for a couple of months. And then by the time everything was sorted, we were well into November. The weather had turned. It was wet. It was horrible. It was windy. I haven't been out in the garden much. So there wasn't anything to vlog about, to be quite honest. So I've left the best news till last. The best news is you may be able to see a little photograph in the middle over there. Our little grandson arrived. He was due in September, and he obviously heard, he got the memo. So Julie came on the 1st of September. He couldn't wait. It was a little bit premature. So consequently, it was only a tiny little thing. He was, well, relatively tiny. Tiny to me. My daughter was nearly £10 when she was born, so I think it's tiny, but most people say no, it's about average. But it was £6.3, so it was quite a tiny thing. But can't believe he's already 4 months old. He's laughing and giggling. He's he's starting to chew his fists, so he's possibly getting teeth soon, and he's holding his head up. He'll be sitting up before we know it. And he is just the best thing. He really is. I absolutely love him to bits. We see as much of him as we can. It's not easy. My daughter lives about 30 minutes away on a good run. I have no access to a car when my husband's at work, so we only have the one car. So we can't go over as often as I would like. But they come over here sometimes, and sometimes we go there. He came at Christmas. He came on Christmas Eve, and he slept here. And Father Christmas came and brought him some presents. It was all a little bit above him, obviously, but we enjoyed it and we'll remember it. And we had a lovely time. So so that's been the fabulous news. That's been the positive that's kept me going. All the time I was waiting for Tess, I never said a word to my daughter about it because she was heavily pregnant at the time. And I thought, no, I'm not telling. I don't want her worrying about it. There's nothing that she can do. So what's the point? There's no point making her worry. So I kept it to myself. But obviously I've told her now about it. And I'm fully intending to get myself back to full fitness, because I will be on full granny duty, potentially 2 days a week from next August, or this August actually now, isn't it? When she's back at work. So all sorts of exciting plans for what we can do together. I want to get him into gardening, of course. So the beds we're having built, we're having 2 long, large beds, and then at the far end, nearest to the dustbins, it isn't as long there, it tapers slightly. So we're having a slightly smaller bed built there, and that's going to be his bed for him to grow his vegetables in, or flowers, or whatever he wants to grow when he's a little bit older. I'll get him a little trowel and a little fork and a little watering can, and he can have his own little garden and do what he wants with it. We could even make it into a fairy garden and put pebbles in it, and well, we'll see. And then again, he may just be not interested in the slightest, and I shall use it for extra vegetables. We'll see. So that's the idea anyway. So all really exciting stuff. So as soon as it warms up enough, to be honest, today, once the sun came out, it might have been warm enough. But once everybody's back at work, back at school next week, if it just gets a bit warmer, I might do another little vlog out in the garden. I'm not going to say I'm going to be more, what's the word? Prolific with my vlogging, because we all know that isn't going to happen, isn't it? You know what I'm like. I'm going to get to a point where I'll be like, oh, it's 2 months and I haven't done one. The time just flies. It just absolutely flies. But I will try and keep up to this, because I do enjoy making them. It's a record for me as much as anything. I've been watching over the last few days some of my past vlogs, and I found them interesting because it's our garden, seeing how it's developed, seeing how it's changed. So that's the main reason I'm doing this, to be honest, is to keep a record. So I will go out and show the old vegetable beds again for the last time. Hopefully the last time. And then obviously when the new ones are done, do a film of that. We've thought of a way round the round bed. There was one, how we're going to move the round beds and empty them all, and where we're going to put all the soil. And Steve had a really good idea, because his grandson comes with him to help do the physical stuff. And he said, well, we'll just drag them so that they're inside where the beds are going to be, build the beds round them, and then once they're built, you can just get a Stanley knife and cut through the sides and empty them out into the new beds. I thought, oh, good idea. Why didn't we think of that? So that will save us a lot of mess as well. We'll probably still move the bins, because when they get the sleepers delivered, they're going to have to put them somewhere, and that'll be where they go. The other thing I'll show you perhaps next time when I do another vlog, we finally got round to sorting out what was Hannah's bedroom upstairs, and we're waiting. The decorator's coming at the end of January to paint the walls and ceilings, but we've redone it as a guest room. It's a sort of guest room stroke nursery for the baby to sleep and to play. So we've got a bookcase for him in there, somewhere to put a bassinet. We've got a bassinet for him when he sleeps here. But we've also bought a new king-size bed. So we've got that. We've got a big wardrobe. The black wardrobe was in there before, which we're hoping to paint to sort of tone it down. As I'm not a fan of black furniture personally, and paint it cream so it blends in. But we've got a lovely, nice, big king-size bed up there, and headboard and everything, which we got a few months ago. So it meant that they could all stay at Christmas and sleep. So that was really good. So it's looking a bit more like a proper bedroom and not just a dumping ground for goodness knows. I thought we'd find Lord Lucan and Shergar when we started clearing it out, to be quite honest. So it is looking a lot better, and I'm not as ashamed of it as I was. But it does need decorating. It definitely does need decorating. It's quite a lot of holes to fill, and because we took a lot of trunking down, because she used to have a wall-mounted TV, which I can't bear them neither. So that all came down, and we got rid of all that. So it's left marks on the wall. So yeah, Mungo is taking hibernation into an art form, as you can see. He goes out, but he's not out long, and he comes back, and he's back in he either goes into that chair, or he goes into what is officially his chair, which is that one, because normally his daddy would be sitting in that one, and he would be sitting on his daddy, but his daddy's at work, so yeah, so he's doing hibernating there. Midge is upstairs on our bed hibernating, and I'm sitting here with my feet elevated, about to start reading, and I'm also hibernating. So I hope you've all had a fabulous Christmas and a wonderful New Year, 2026. Goodness me, who would have believed it? Let's have a better year, please. I certainly want a better year health-wise. I just would like a better year. I don't want anything fabulous to happen. Just a nice, easy, steady going on. No major upsets. Nobody's ill. Nothing. No catastrophes. No tragedies. Just pootling through life will do me fine. That's all I ask. So have a fabulous rest of the week. A fabulous weekend. Fingers crossed. One day next week, if we get another sunny day, I think we might be getting snow. Hopefully not. But anyway, if we get a sunny day next week, I will take you outside and show you what has been happening and what has not been happening in the garden. So have a fabulous time, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.